The 5 mistakes you make in business by not understanding why people don't give a hoot about you. I've had the opportunity to build a business from the ground up to doing billions of dollars in sales every single year. And I make these videos to share the blind spots because I have blind spots, and I had a business partner who basically some kind of way moved over $19 million away from us. And so what I want to do is make sure that you don't go through what I went through, and that you learn from what I went through so that you can build your business to be bigger, better, stronger, and scalable. So mistake number 1 is this: not understanding human psychology, regardless to race or color, right? It doesn't matter how many times you hear, well, I'm pro this, or I'm pro that, or it's for the culture, or it's for the people. People talk about the man all the time, but what people really care about is the green man. Now, when groups of people utilize resources based upon their culture, it's far more effective economically for that particular ethnic group. You see this in voting, purchasing land, and the resources in and out of their countries that benefit that particular group. You see this even in our countries here. You see this even locally when you go to certain communities and you see clothes that are made by and for a particular group. You see foods that are made by and for a particular group that benefit that group economically, right? It's super powerful because it's stronger than marketing, it's better than social media, and oftentimes we don't even see and hear about it until it's well on its way. For everyone else, at the end of the day, you have to understand what Snoop Dogg said when he said, my mind on my money and my money on my mind. And that's the reality for many of us, right? And another thing to understand about human psychology is this: what happens when it comes to resources, right? When an animal gets hungry, they attack and eat whatever's available. Doesn't matter if it's the mother that they're gonna be eating, a brother, a sister, an uncle, a nephew, a baby, or the elderly. They're getting food for them and theirs. Now, when humans get hungry and resources are scarce, they attack and eat whatever is available, getting food for themselves and sometimes even more than what's needed. And again, they don't care if it's mother, uncle, a sister, a nephew, a niece, a baby, or the elderly. Unfortunately, some people will kill and do whatever necessary to obtain those resources. Now, some people have a moral and ethical foundation that they will not cross, but others will eat by any means necessary. You know, you heard 50 Cent say, get rich or die trying, and that became really popular on social media. But just think, if a person is willing to die himself for resources, what value do you think they would place upon your life? What must be understood is that not everyone evolves at the same pace. We all go through different levels of development. So, as an example, the decisions that I make today are much different than the decisions I would make 21 years ago, 10 years ago, even 5 years ago, even a year ago. Some people think the same today as they did 21 years ago, and that's just where they are emotionally and mentally. The second thing is mistake number 2, is that thinking that people care about you as much as you do them. And as benevolent as I wanted to be, people gave me a rude awakening. I tried to help people that were being screwed over by others that I knew and didn't know. And in some cases, the people that I tried to help end up screwing me even more. They could care less about what was wrong or right or who did what, regardless to any data. When it came to resources, you're in their crosshairs until they get what they want. And in some cases, even if something is right, if they can get more over here, the average person will go with what's wrong because it benefits them the most. And here's the thing, in today's society, people can always hide behind an amoral attorney. And according to the definition of immoral, it is someone who lacks a moral sense and is unconcerned with rightness or wrongness of something. And at that point, you're dealing with billable hour. And litigation attorneys in particular often cloud the issue because they use tactics that run up legal fees. And so now you're not even fighting about the actual issue, you're fighting because your legal fees are running up. I just had a litigation attorney, hot off the press, send my litigation attorney an email saying that if you don't collaborate with us, basically if you don't support what this particular person has done that I am not in agreement with, that I didn't have anything to do with, we are going to stretch this out, and now we are going to make this extremely long and very expensive for you. Kind of sounds like extortion, right? Those people are a dime a dozen. And you often hear the term, it's just business. And what does that really mean, right? When someone says it's just business, it means that they have removed ethics and morals from the transaction or from the relationship. And this is what justifies it's just business. Emotions don't matter at that point, and honestly, it's best that you remove yours. Now, this doesn't mean that you need to become immoral. or unethical. You simply need to know when it comes to resources, in most cases, the other person could care less about you, so go in with a deeper understanding. Now, next is mistake number 3. Not understanding everyone is looking out for numero uno first, which is self. Even the airlines tell you to put your oxygen mask on first and then help the person next to you. There's also a book called Profit First, where it discusses paying yourself first, meaning paying your business first. The reason is because if you were to pay everyone, the bankers, the lawyers, and more first, whom are all thinking about themselves only, there won't be anything left for you to run your company. Right? And I have this happen all the time where I have to pay this person and that person and this company. I'm talking about vendors in particular. 99.9% of the vendors could care less about what's happening in your business, how it affects your business, because their whole focus is numero uno, them and theirs. Everything else is tertiary, or not even secondary, to be honest with you. And that's something important to understand. You think about something that's super abundant on the planet, like air and water, right? Even when there's enough resources, we've been conditioned to want even more than needed. And I think that this incentivizes people to poison the very air and water we need to live, creating an industry where you can package and bottle it for sale. And even then, you still can't trust it because some of the plastics are so toxic that it leads this toxicity back into the water that is already poisoned. And now you're buying water to hopefully get non-toxic water in the plastic that houses that holds the water is toxic, leaking it back into your body again. And I'm not beating up capitalism here, right? But yet people will always justify finding a way to be a capitalist and thinking of themselves first. Mistake number 4 is taking it personal. People aren't thinking about you. You just have to understand that. As unfortunate as it sounds, they are only thinking about themselves. So take your emotions out of it. I didn't know this, but there are over 2,000 scriptures in the Bible about money. And many people focus only on those 2,000 scriptures, while you are focusing on the other aspects of the forgiving and maybe some of the more emotional things. Some people are focusing on those 2,000 scriptures about money. And here's the thing, right? We take it personal, but some people after a while really believe what they're doing is the right thing. And they aren't considering how what they do affects you. They're just not thinking about you or I. They're only concerned about themselves. I remember giving an ex-girlfriend my debit card and she went out shopping, right? She was gone for hours. And I thought she was out buying things that we needed for the house, things to clean the house, right? Groceries, things like that. Cleaning utensils, clothes, maybe, things for our bathroom like a toothbrush, toothpaste, soap, toilet tissue, towels. And after hours, she came back on an empty tank of gas in my car with a pair of $500 sunglasses that she bought for herself. She'd also gone out with her crew, and I guess they all ate together. Who knows who tipped, right? And she also bought a beautiful outfit for herself and brought back some yummy looking takeout food that they had gotten on the way home after shopping before they ate out. And she was pretty much full. And so I'm like, I'm waiting like a dog. All these things are being opened up. Like, did you get any food for me? And she says, well, yeah, you can have the French fries that were cold that was left on the kitchen counter. And it messed me up, right? I was literally looking like Boo Boo the Fool and felt like Boo Boo the Fool. But here's the thing, she wasn't thinking about me like I was thinking about her. You can't expect that from another person, in business or personally, right? I had an ex-business partner who started a business with me from the bottom up. We traveled the world together with our significant others. I stayed at his place frequently, and he stayed at my place a few times. We knew each other's family, still stole over $19 million while we were doing all those other things that I just spoke about together. We were on the absolute rise in our industry, so we weren't bleeding for money. And what confused me the most was trying to figure out why. Oftentimes people do something, you always try to figure out like why. I've had the same thing happen with institutions that I've tried to assist. And as soon as the opportunity presented itself, they took advantage. It's like a slap in the face. And it's because I didn't understand mistakes 1, 2, and 3. 1 is not understanding human psychology. Mistake number 2 is thinking people care about you as you do them. And mistake number 3 was not understanding that everyone is looking out for themselves. And mistake number 4 is taking it personal. So here's the thing, don't take it personal. It's just who they are. But in your business, remove yourself. Your business should be all about serving people, your clients, that, and then the rest will take care of itself. But going into business so that you have more time to chill or you can do whatever you want when you want is not a good business. It's not a good enough reason to be in business. Mistake number 5 was not understanding mistakes number 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then making sure when necessary that at least I'm creating the perception that everything being done for our clients only benefits our clients. I know it sounds like it's crazy to understand, but that is how many people think. And it sounds harsh, but people do not care about you. People only care about themselves. Think about this. Your client's going to feel like they've gotten the advantage or upper hand in every single transaction. And they want to receive 10 times more than what they've invested, right? And you see this in marketing, but I've had mentors tell me this as well, that you want to make sure that your clients receive 10 times what they invested. So this means you only benefit from a small fraction of what your clients make. And you think about this, think about how we shop. We try to get the best deal. And some people, negotiate someone all the way down as far as they can go, like almost to the point where they're only in business to cover costs. And so the thinking is that this is so that they can win, which essentially means that you lose. Your business is not about shareholders, right? It's not about the investors or putting yourself first. In many cases, I think that ruins a business where only those at the top win. Simon Sinek wrote a book called The Infinite Game, which outlines the rise and fall of many businesses and what caused it. So there's a quote in the book that goes like this. Simon Sinek says, "The best leaders and the best companies prioritize people before numbers." Your business should be about serving people, your clients, staff, and the rest will take care of itself. He also wrote a book called Leaders Eat Last. And in that book, he says, you can easily judge the character of a man by how he treats those who can do nothing for him. So to grow a successful business, you must become a servant leader. And that means you must understand human psychology. Now, if you think this was helpful, hit the like button. If you have questions or ideas that can help others, share in the comments. And if you want more, hit the subscribe button. This is Khaazra, and I'm out.